Hello, everybody. My name is Intelsen Mojana, and I'm a spiritual medium. Thank you so much for joining me again. And yes, those who are following me on YouTube, thank you so much for your amazing support, your loyalty, for always subscribing and your comments. I love you endlessly. I love you. Um, I wanted to say in infinity. You know that sign that says it's going on forever, the infinity sign. So, and to those who are following me on Facebook, thank you so much. Please go on to YouTube just to subscribe because it is a game of numbers at the end of the day. Now, family, today I need for us to talk about pushing through your pain. Push through your pain. And the reason why I want to talk to you about it is for two reasons. One, so that we demystify what a reading supposed to be doing. So people come to have a reading, they are agitated, their lives are not going well, and they instantaneously believe that a reading will have an instantaneous effect on taking away your pain. And that is not what a reading does. What does a reading do? A reading is meant to put certain things into perspective. A reading is meant for you to understand why there are certain things that are happening and almost in a pattern form in your life. So somebody who is a spiritual practitioner. I see most of you are using that against me. You are typing, hello, spiritual practitioner. So now you would have a spiritual practitioner come in and look at what are the things that you are missing in your life, what are the things that you are not seeing, what are the things that you are supposed to be doing in your life, right? And so people think that by mere having a reading, your life must change just like that. It's not magic. Neither is it witchcraft. And witchcraft, that's the reason why I never take witches seriously, because whatever they do, it takes too long. And that's why they need to come every day at night to see, is it really working? Is it really working? So that's the highest form of panic. That's the highest form of panic that you can ever send out to the universe. Now, life has seasons. And when we don't understand that life has seasons, we will get to think that in every season it must be spring and it must be summer. And we don't expect autumns and we don't expect winters. And when we are in our winter season and we happen to come across a spiritual practitioner, we almost think that the winter season will not go on for 3 months. It will go on for half a month, because I have finally met somebody who is going to be changing the situation. And that is a very wrong way of thinking about life. And yes, I'm not making light of problems. You have problems, and that's why you require people who do the work that I do. I understand that. But it is about the expectation, it's about missing the lessons. And each thing teaches you something. Pain teaches you something. Pain teaches you what to do when joy comes, you know? And sadness teaches you a lot of things, to appreciate the people that you are with. Sadness that is coming from grief, it teaches you to appreciate the people that you still have, to appreciate the people that love you, because you still have them. But again, grief also teaches you the basic thing about life, that life begins and it ends. And it makes you to be prepared, right? It makes you to be prepared. And at some point it also makes you to be self-sufficient. Not that it's easy to lose the people that you do, but it also teaches you something. But now you get people who are just concentrating on grief, and they dwell on grief, and they take drugs because of grief, and they drink because of grief, and they abuse others because of grief. And you realize that a thing has happened once, but then what you are then doing after this one big event then changes everything. it messes up other people's lives that love you because of this one particular thing that has happened, which is a law of nature. And so that is what I wanted for us to talk about today, to push through the pain, very well understanding that all of life has its own principles and has its own laws. And this is what I really do. My purpose, it's far greater than I can explain, and every day I'm also discovering my purpose like everybody else, right? But the thing that happens is that we exist here on the universe because there are laws, and there are laws that govern the universe. And the other time I was talking about a law of gravity, to say no matter how anointed you are, if you sit on an urge, if I decide to get off this chair and sit on its urge and go this way, no matter how anointed and gifted I am, I will still fall off, because there's the law of gravity that still exists. Now, in the universe, there are about 12 laws of the universe. They govern all of us. There's the law of attraction that most people like to talk about. There's the law of cause and effect. There's the law of correspondence. There's the law of relativity. And the law of relativity says most people, whenever they are dealing with an issue, they want to make a comparison as to, I am dealing with this thing, Ntabi dealt with it, or Ntabi is not dealing with it, or she dealt with it better. Your consciousness by design just likes to compare itself to other things. And so this is one of the fallback tactics that you will have as a human being. And this is one of the fallbacks that are attacking most of you, because even when you're going through your painful seasons, you do not want to go through them. You rush to the law of relativity. You rush to say, but somebody else is not doing this thing. My peers are somewhere up in the world and I am not. My peers have 14 kids, they have 9 kids, they have 4 dogs, and they've been married 3 times, and I have not. And you dwell so much on that, and it causes your pain to grow bigger. And now what I'm saying is that please learn the season that you are in and embrace the seasons that you are in. There are seasons of loss, there are seasons of gain, there are seasons where everything is happening in quite a linear movement. There's equilibrium. My job is going well, my kids are healthy, my husband or my wife is loving, my family and everybody else is getting along. There's a good surplus in the bank account. There are those moments where everything is going well, and those are your linear moments. Those are your good harvesting seasons, where you're getting your returns on all of the investments that you've made, on the relationships that you try to fix, on everything else, on making sure that you pin down that medical condition, and now everything is in balance. And the moment that everything now starts to go, there's panic. And that's what we're talking about. Push through your pain, because even in the Bible, the Ecclesia says, in everything in life there's a season. There's a season to cry, there's a season to be joyful. I don't know how, that those opposites, those antonyms, there's a time to begin, there's a time to end, there's a time to plant, there's a time to harvest. But when we come to healing, we do not appreciate those moments, and I wonder why. So I am not just saying you must go and embrace poverty, and you must go and embrace abuse, and you must go and embrace the lack of marriages and curses and every other thing that is happening in your life. I am not insinuating that you should, but I am saying you must expect it. And those times, they have their space in life. And when you're going through those times, push through your pain. It means your pain is here, and you need to do something to penetrate through your pain. So what should you do? Let's talk about meditation. Somebody asked that we do a meditation dinner. At some point, Dineo asked. At some point, Ntabiseng asked Magonono that we do a reading or a teaching on meditation. So, what is meditation? Meditation is the principle of being still in order for your mind, your body, and your spirit to align. So you don't have to wait to be dead in order for your body, your mind, and your spirit to align. Well, the body at that time will be like, ah, no, inaya, nah, peeps. You go ahead, go do your soul work, go be an ancestor. I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here and yeah, chill here with my wimmy friends. That's so it will never align. So you are only going to be in proper alignment when you are alive. Meditation. So why meditation? I practice meditation. Isn't it that on YouTube you watch me? Let me share what I watch on YouTube. I obviously don't watch myself. I watch guided meditations on whatever I'm going through. So I was telling somebody the other day that I never have time for I never have time to go through a breakup. When somebody breaks up with me, I never have time to sit and heal and go, yo, baby, yeah, Mara, why? What did I do? Because my life is busy. It has always been busy. When I was in corporate, I had a very busy job. When I was doing whatever, I am always having too much responsibility in my life, and that is what my life is about, you know. And I don't have the time to deal with certain things. And when I don't have the time to deal with certain things, I just throw them at the back of my subconscious for my subconscious to deal with it. So there are guided meditations on YouTube to deal, guided meditation on how to deal with a breakup. And you put on your headphones and you listen to it. It goes on for 8 hours, but I promise you, by the first 15 minutes, you are gone. You are already sleeping and not thinking about what's keeping you awake and what's giving you problems. You are just not thinking about it. So um why does meditation work? Because it allows for your subconscious to be still enough to push away the restrictions that you have in your head. And when you are calm in your head, you are calm in your body, then your spirit life is able to say, oh, this is where I fit in, this is where I come in. And we must make Ntabi to become whole based on this thing. Some people will tell you that the body is always healing itself. And if you let it be still enough, the body knows how to fix itself. So obviously when you're going through a heartbreak, some things are really out of kilter, and you're like, oh, Mara baby, why? And you're like, can I call her? No, don't call. She said I must call. Oh no, she blocked me. What do I do with all this love that I have inside? I don't know who to give it to. What can I do? Then you already are in turmoil, right? Your body is already going like this and sending out messages everywhere else, and you are bitter and you are crying and you are you are just going through a lot. So when you find time for your mind to be still, and those people, they let you know, they have such soothing voices. This is guided meditation on how to set your heart right. And they go on, they go repetitively. And you'll never find people who do hypnosis or who do guided meditations having a loud voice like mine. How am I going to soothe you? How am I on earth going to soothe you? My voice is loud. I want to laugh at every other second sentence. So no, then they don't have people like me, but they have very poised and proper who are speaking straight to the point for the purpose of your healing. Ooh. So, what I'm trying to say is that there are certain things that your subconscious needs to be jogged on to do. They need to be pushed for, your subconscious needs to be pushed on certain things to happen. And when they are pushed, then they send the right messages to the body to say, but that's not a big deal. You can still live again and you are fine. You are not bitter. You are good. People make choices on earth, and so they decided not to choose on you, and that is fine. Now, let's take this particular thing and put it in a certain bracket so that you can come back and we align your life the way that your own destiny must be falling into. So if this person moves away, then they're not part of your destiny, right? So let's then move them away and get your destiny to work right for you. That's what guided meditations do. Two, there are certain people, despite their best efforts, there are people who say, but Coco, I've done the cinnamon, I've done the red, the green candle, I'm still not having the money that I'm supposed to be having. And this part of me sharing with you about guided meditations, it was not planned. I dreamt of it the other day. I dreamt of myself doing a video sharing with you about guided meditations. So, and every now and then, those past few weeks, the Spirit has been saying, share, share how you cope, right? Share with how you cope with things. And then there's the guided meditation on making money or gaining wealth. So, most of the time that you are not getting the things that you want, we can give you the rituals, we can pray for you. I wake up at 3 a.m., cold as it is. I wake up at 3 a.m. I have a list of people that I know this issue. Ah, God, Maramo, yo, God, how did you trust me with this issue? And I just have a list of people that I worked with during the day. There's a story I heard about whatever. Somebody called me about this incident, and when I say I will carry you in prayer, I literally do. I literally sit there, wake up 3 a.m. and 12 a.m. and I do my prayers, right? Because that's my job. That's my job. That's my purpose. So now there are certain people who, despite our best efforts, and their best efforts really, not that they are lazy or they are not doing stuff, they are really doing. But despite their best efforts, they are just unable to get through certain restrictions. And because you know what, we can give you almost all the herbs for you to sniff and for you to steam with, but there are certain things that are just lost in your subconscious, and they are not spiritual issues, but they are mental and cognitive issues. And that is why we would then say, go meditate about it. Because when you are still, your purpose, your destiny, your body, your path aligns, and it remembers what it's supposed to be doing. It remembers what it's supposed to be doing. It's like when you have a cut. When you have a cut here and you are bleeding, if you let that bleed, if you don't stop the bleeding, you just let it go on, your own cells know what to do. A certain valve will say, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Chauke, there's valve number 2 there that's open, and everything else will rush to close that valve. And then you will find now it's just black blood that is sitting here, but the actual blood has stopped. Why? Because the body has spoken to itself to say there's a crisis at knuckle 2, so let's solve crisis at knuckle 2, ne? And that is why you would have other people whose body can't respond to them bleeding. Whenever they have a cut, we just take them to the hospital because there's a certain malfunction about the body and not responding to a crisis. But my point is, your own body knows when it is out of kilter, and if you leave it to become still enough, quiet enough, pushing through your pain enough, it knows how to fix you. Why is this a problem? It's a big problem for control freaks, for people who are doers, for people when there's something that is out of balance, they think it is me. I have to go do it. I have to go fix it. I have to. So your body does not get time to be still enough to fix itself, to align, to remember its purpose, and for you to move into the next chapter of your life. So whenever you are getting this, I'm looking for a job, I am too broke, we are in systematic poverty. This is how I have managed to navigate my own life. It was through my own mind. Apart from, yes, I have been having blessings as a to be prophetess, as to be as a to be spiritual practitioner. You have to agree. It does have a ring to it, spiritual practitioner. Before all of those things, I found myself when I was in poverty, and I said, I need to get myself out of poverty. If there's one thing I need to do, is to get myself out of poverty. And I thought about it, literally. I put it out into my thinking, and I said, I'm going to focus on getting myself out of poverty and getting everybody else out of poverty. And we are going to be thinking about it, because what you think about, you get to think about, right? You know that term. What you put in your mind is exactly what you will get. You will get most of it, and over you will be getting one thing. So, why am I talking about this thing? I'm talking about it because some people, even when we have prayed for them to get their job, we've prayed everything else into alignment, we've prayed everything else to work out well, they will still say, Gogo, I know things are working well, but am I not going to lose it? Because I'm so used to losing. Then already you are thinking about losing. And the law of cause and effect, what you do is what you get. What your law of attraction will come back at you, and we will forever be dealing in patterns and patterns and patterns. And that's the law of correspondence, and patterns, that everything that has happened will happen again and over again. So the last time we spoke about gratitude prayers. And gratitude prayers are the thing that keeps sustainability. When something is going well, we are going to thank God for it. When you were having health issues and suddenly you are well, you don't panic about the next time you are unwell, because that is not where you are at. Where you are at, you think about. Then you give God and the universe and the force and whatever governs you, you give gratitude to that, to say, I'm grateful for my health. I am well. I wake up well. And everything I do is well. So on one of the videos that I watched some time ago, it said, good things are coming my way. And the teacher there was saying, say that just 6 times in a day. Every day say that. I think you've seen that on my WhatsApp status, right? That says, good things are coming my way. And I just started to do it. I really don't have time to stress about anything. My life is busy. And people think, oh, Ntabi, you when I rata go itira something else. And I'm very jealous about my laugh. I want to laugh. I want to be happy about the next thing. So I don't have the time to just be gloomy and groomy. So all of these things that have happened and that are happening, they are within your path. Even the things that witches have thrown at you, they are within your path, so that you deal with them and you go back into balance, and you go back into what your body knows is supposed to be doing for you. Guided meditations on making money, guided meditations on buying a car, guided meditations on owning your next home, guided meditations on attracting your soulmate, guided meditations on being happy, guided meditations on activating your inner self. Go and get into practice with them. Go into practice and survive. It is not far off from what ancestors are about, but ancestors don't operate at a whim. They just don't do things because they just like to do things. Everything on earth has order, and this is one of the reasons why I have this channel, to say I am teaching on spiritual principles, that no matter where you are, no matter your system of belief, no matter your creed, no matter your religion, no matter whatever you do, you are governed by 12 sets of universal law. And at all times, they are acting out and they're doing certain things. And my teachings are just about your daily life, to catch on to that and saying, this is the principle and this is why it's working, and that's how you need to solve it. That is what I do. And so here right now, I'm just really helping you on coping mechanisms. Why? Because I lost a potential client the other day. Somebody booked an appointment and we were supposed to have a crossover, and this person gets a date of when they're going to be seeing me. They only had to wait for 2 weeks in order to come and have a consultation with me. And while we are still, we gave them dates. Patience did her job. She's very good at what she does. Gave out dates and everything else. And then I get a message from that number, and they said, Gogo, the person that you were supposed to be having a crossover has hung himself. And the wife was then saying, can I now do the reading? And it saddened me. And it has been a message I wanted to talk to you about, pushing through your pain. And at that moment, it just became so stark that we need to talk about it. We need to talk about all the seasons of life. And when we did a crossover and I spoke to this person in spirit, these are things that we could have worked through. But it was, sadly, he just couldn't push through the pain. And the wife kept on saying, Coco, why did he not wait? I see everything that's happening, but I felt that he could have waited. And after seeing what the issues were, I felt he could have waited, but he just couldn't push through his pain. So please go push through your pain, and know that at all times your mind carries you. Your mind is trained to behave in a certain way, and there are solutions, and there are systems, and there are laws that govern all of us. Witches don't govern us. Our priests don't govern us. Our spiritual practitioners don't govern us, but your mind does. And when you learn the tactics of how do I get my mind to help me to do a certain thing, because the desires that are planted in your heart, they don't just happen at a whim. It's a divine network. It's orchestrated. And when you are feeling a certain desire and you are unable to push itself into reality, go tap into some part of your brain that knows that when you tap here it will happen. There's a movie called Lucy. I'll watch that movie 1,000 times. It's like Sarafina. I will, or The Bodyguard. Have you seen Kevin Costner? Sweet Mother of Jesus, hallelujah. Anyway, the point is the point is that movie Lucy tells you that we only use 10% of our brains, and the whole 90% of our brains is untapped into, because as people we are not taught to, you know, go and explore other parts of the brains. Anyway, thank you so much, family. I love you. Please push through your pain. There are 4 seasons, and equally so, you need to get through all of them. TD Jakes says you must never marry somebody until you've seen them with the flu, you know. And as he goes on into his preaching, he says it's because the flu season is indicative of how all life works. What does this person behave like when his body will not carry him or her? What does this person behave like when, by all accounts, they try to be okay, but something is pushing back? You know, it does not necessarily mean the actual flu or flu ectopus, Vicks ectoplas. No, it actually means a season of resistance, a season of this is what I want, and certain things are not happening. And unless you see a person go through what they do when they are broke, what they do when they're going through grief, what they do when they are hungry and angry, what they do when they are sick and being unable, unless you've seen them, unless you've seen a person go through all seasons of life, don't marry them. But most importantly, know yourself, how you navigate through all of those seasons of life. But when it is winter and when it is autumn, learn to push through your pain, because pain is there. For everything in life, there's a season and a reason. Thank you, family. I love you. May you be blessed.